Rise up, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, kings and queens, friends, frenemies, and your agents. Are you ready to leave the world behind? Are you ready to do what it takes? Right now, there is madness going on. You know, the Russian Vladimir Putin when they were going to go into Ukraine, and they were saying nothing's going on, we're just doing some practice maneuvers and so on and so forth. They put all their tanks up against the border of Ukraine. And now what we found is that Russia should have smashed Ukraine to pieces very quickly. When you look at how much firepower Ukraine had versus how much Russia had, that should have been a very quick destruction, decimation, murdering spree of the Ukrainians. But due to meddling by people like Boris Johnson and Joe Biden, that thing has gone on and on for a few years now. And now the Americans have put out this.
We today announced the kickoff of Exercise Steadfast Defender 2024, which commences next week and runs through May. Steadfast Defender 24 will be the largest NATO exercise in decades, with participation from approximately 90,000 forces from all 31 allies, plus our good partner, Sweden. The alliance will demonstrate its ability to reinforce the Euro-Atlantic area via transatlantic movement of forces from North America. This reinforcement will occur during a simulated emerging conflict scenario against a near-peer adversary. Steadfast Defender 24 will be a clear demonstration of our unity, our strength, and our determination to protect each other, to protect, of course, our values and the rules-based international order.
Industrial base that is able to produce weapons and ammunition fast enough. Sorry, the big difference with a year ago, I would say, Terry, is that there's a lot of things that have happened in the armed forces and in the defense organizations. What hasn't happened is in our societies the understanding that it is more than the military that has to be able to operate in a conflict or in a war. It is the whole of society that will get involved, whether we like it or not. That realization, we didn't talk about that much a year ago. If you look back the last year, what has happened in our alliance with regard to the battle groups that we set up, if you look back to the training, the fact that we now have Steadfast Defender with 90,000 troops, that is a record number. That is a record number of troops that we can bring to bear and have an exercise with in that size. Across the alliance, across the ocean, from the US to Europe, in Europe. That is a big change.
So we can see there that people are making plans. The same way like how Russia was there on the border of Ukraine, they're like, yo, we're just playing around with our tanks and so on and so forth. We're just messing about, don't worry about it. These NATO people are saying, look, you know, we're not doing nothing. We're just taking all our ships from America, you know, Air Force, the whole lot, right? We're taking 90,000, incorporating people in UK, France, Germany, like the Western world, a bit like World War II. We're taking them all over to Europe just to mess around, just to do some games. Not been done before. But right now, while they have seen that Ukraine has just recently hit Russia, it's like as though people are waiting for for Russia to be a bit war weary, and now they can move over. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm assuming is going on. I don't know, because I'm not in with the American or British Army intelligence. I don't know. What I do believe is that for the past few years, Russia's war tactics have been studied so that people in the West are more aware of what to expect when they go up against Vladimir Putin. They've been able to see how that man thinks, what his tactics are militarily, and Ukraine has borne the brunt of that violence. So my thought is that they hope to find a war-weary Putin to now be able to take on. My question to you is, are you ready to leave this world behind? I've been having a conversation with some people over in the Gambia, online, just asking them, like, what things have they not expected? What things have they not had in mind? What was not in their mind when they moved over to the Gambia? That I could share with you lot here on the camera. And there's a lack of convenience. There's a lack of convenience that comes with being over in Africa. So, things are very convenient over in the West. If you need something, you can look on your phone, buy it. It comes to you delivered within 24 hours. If you want to go shopping, you can go into certain shops, purchase everything you want with the swipe of a card or with a dab of your phone. You could use that same phone to travel around. All those kind of things are convenient. The walkways are very are concreted, so they're easy to walk on. They have areas where you can easily move along with your wheelchair and so on and so forth, like crossings. I used to think that was a good thing. Why is the sun always shining my eye when I'm doing this video? I'm like, it's nice and cloudy so I can talk to you, and then midway the sun comes out and starts blinding. Oh my God. Hold up. I remember, for example, when the last president of Gambia was refusing to give up his seat as president, one of the things he did was to turn off the internet for the country. So all the internet service providers were told to cease operations. So we couldn't get information coming in or going out. Now the locals, for the most part, were either cool with it, or according to the staff I had, didn't even know that was happening, it was a thing. But for me, who was reliant on this thing called the internet, I was afraid, I was scared, because I was like, they could do whatever they want and no one's going to know about it. So we've got to look out for ourselves. You've got to start growing your own food, collecting your own water. My suggestion would be to come out of that system altogether and come over here to Africa, go over to the Caribbean, make those kind of moves where you're not right in the middle of it. Because my belief is that even if you are over here and you don't have the convenience and the lifestyle that you're used to over in the West, you can still have a pretty decent lifestyle. You can still enjoy yourself, and you can have fresh water, and you can have fresh food, and that means that you can actually survive and get on to the next day. You may have to get your news from the newspaper. You might need to think about being a little bit more analog. You might need to save people's phone numbers in a book rather than on your phone, because electricity isn't too clever, so you don't know if you can charge your phone every time. There might be things like that, but for the most part, looking at the way the world is moving, my suggestion would be to leave the world behind. Now, I did that a long time ago. Brexit was kicking off over in the UK. People were saying they needed to leave the European Union. Reason being is because they felt that England or the UK was strong enough to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. They didn't need all these brown skinned people coming through the European Union and clogging up the system in the UK, taking over all the housing. They didn't need all these black skinned people coming over to the UK, taking all the jobs. So what they wanted to do was to control their borders and be able to think about the UK first, second and third. That's what they wanted to do. Basically, the same rhetoric that's going on in the USA right now is the conversations they were having in the UK 10 years ago. And since then, France has got the Netherlands have got a right-winged leader. Greece has got a right-winged leader. Italy has a right-winged leader. And France, the last time the right-wing leader missed by a hair's breadth. So she's going to get in this time, surely. So the whole of Europe is turning into this more like right-wing, nationalistic kind of mindset. At the same time, the USA is in the same thing, and they are not messing around. They are taking all their toys and bringing them to play just outside of Russia. I don't think Russia's going to wait that long. I think from when they're on the border of France, it's going to be problems. So my suggestion to you would be, wait a second, I'm on the phone, wait a second. My suggestion to you would be to look at how you can make the moves that keeps you and your family safe, both mentally, as far as your diet, as far as the environment. Keep yourself safe, look out for yourself, bundle up with other people. They're saying, the World Economic Forum is saying that in the future, single family households will be a thing of the past, and that families are going to have to share homes. If that's the case, Leave the World Behind is a good example of what you don't want to have happen, where you've got one set of families distrusting of another set of family because you're two different sets of race. It doesn't have to be that way. Maybe you can get on with white people, or you can get on with black people in your house. Maybe it doesn't have to be that distrusting. But there are things afoot, people. Things are changing, things are going on. Please do not sit back and think that everything's going to be fine, because it's not. Keep that in mind. It's your brother Marley. And until next time, take care. Peace.